Welcome to Sideline Sports Day 2 Radio Row. We're joined by Casey Clark, the Senior Vice President of the American Gaming Association. Good morning, Casey. How you doing this morning?
Great. Thanks for having me on, guys.
Well, we appreciate it. So, what does the American Gaming Association do so the viewers can know?
So we represent the interest of the casino gaming industry across the country. So there's a $260 billion industry that employs almost 2 million people across traditional casino gambling, but also sports betting, which is going to be the topic du jour here at the Super Bowl.
So, how many Americans do you think will be gambling on the Super Bowl?
The Super Bowl is always the most bet upon sporting event of the year, and because it's not just the traditional bet that you might on any given Sunday place on an over/under or the team to win. You get a lot of casual bets like you do in March Madness or something like that. So you get pools and squares and the casual bet with a friend. But the Super Bowl also attracts a huge number of straight to win sports bets. We're going to see more traditional bets this year than ever. 50 million Americans are planning to bet on the Super Bowl this year.
So, with the advancement of gambling throughout the country, you have companies like DraftKings, FanDuel, Caesars, BetMGM. Who are the biggest companies that are going to be taking most of the bets online?
Well, you just named a lot of them. Certainly the leading brands that everyone's seeing and hearing more of. But there's also a lot of great regional brands, right? You see whether you want to go to a brick and mortar property, like if you're in Vegas and you want to go to Circa, that's a great property. If you want to go to a Hollywood casino in and around the country, or a Rivers casino, depending on where you are, right? There's a lot of great options. And I think what's interesting and fun about sports betting is you might want to do it on your phone in your pocket or on your couch, or you might want to go to the book and do a social with your friends. So it's a lot of options for a lot of people, but certainly the leading brands on the digital space like DraftKings and FanDuel, BetMGM are leading.
Is there an advantage to doing it on the phone and at home as opposed to actually going to the casino?
I think it's just personal experience and what's the experience that you want. What I found interesting about this is there's a lot of conversation before the sports betting legalization boom has happened over the last few years, where people thought it might take away from revenue that was being generated at books, and people may change their patterns. But really, what we're seeing is it's an additive product. It's a totally different experience, right? If the three of us wanted to go have a drink and hang out at the sports book, that's a much different experience than a social experience than me having a little bit of money on the Bears game on any given Sunday. Losing money on any Bears game.
Never like to lose money.
No, it's not fun. So, with gambling being expanded upon, what's the upcoming lay of the land? Where is it going to become legalized next so people can look forward to it?
It's a great question. So, we got to take a little bit of a step back, right? One, we know Americans have been betting on sports forever, even before the federal prohibition was overturned, right? So, let's not talk about it. But look, there's important things that have happened when you migrate bettors out of the illegal market that has no consumer protection.
Right.
There's a lot to why we should bring all that activity into the legal regulated marketplace. But we're at one market in Nevada in 2018, and we're not 5 years later. We're at 36 plus DC with legalized sports betting. So there's still some big markets hanging out there. I think you'll see movement in places like North Carolina, Missouri, maybe this year. It's a little bit of a slower go now that we're at this broad of an adoption already. But look, there's a lot of opportunity for Americans who want to have a little bit of action in the game to do that and do that responsibly and with legal operators.
So you handle, you said, both in brick and mortar casinos and online?
Yes.
So with the expansion of brick and mortar casinos, it seems like they're everywhere. I remember growing up, from New York, you go to Atlantic City, it was a big deal. It was exciting because it was only Atlantic City or Vegas. Now it seems like if you drive an hour, you can find a casino everywhere. How is that affecting everybody's business? Is it hurting to have too many, or?
Well, actually, I think what you've seen is that regional properties have done very well. People like to stay close to home, but certainly destination markets like Las Vegas and Atlantic City and Biloxi, big markets that have a lot of different properties and a lot of different options for people who've done exceptionally well too. So what we're really good at as this business is being innovative entertainment companies. So we find ways to bring the entertainment to you where you are, or to change the way we're offering what. So you go to Las Vegas, you go to Atlantic City when you were growing up, it was a different experience than probably right now, where there's great shows, there's great restaurants, there's a lot to going to a brick and mortar casino property, whether that's a destination or one person at home. So I think there's a lot to what we're offering consumers that's really interesting.
So going forward, what should we expect to see with all of the new properties and stuff. Is there any project that you're familiar with that excites you as far as brick and mortar casinos?
Look, I'm excited about every time we go into a community what that means. There's a lot of misperceptions about our business, about who we are and what that looks like when we come into a community. But the truth is, we invest billions of dollars. We employ thousands of people. We revitalize economies in local markets. And so anytime we have that opportunity, and those opportunities are few and far between for investing and building new properties, it means a lot to those communities, and it means a lot for our business. Now, you start talking about in New York, downtown New York or Manhattan casino, like that's going to be a game changer.
Yeah, I mean, in Chicago, I know that they just passed a temporary spot for Bally's, and they're working on building a permanent one in downtown. That should be huge for the community. A lot of money that they're going to take in.
And bringing people, again, into a regulated legal environment where we will know what the money is, we'll know who you are that you're betting, will help you get, have resources to do that responsibly, so that, there's just a lot that goes into getting and maintaining a gaming license that is an appropriately high bar. So it's exciting when you can bring that kind of offering into an inner city.
Oh, definitely. And then, for people that haven't bet online before or been to a book, what type of things do you recommend or advice can you give betting on the first time in the Super Bowl?
Well, I appreciate you asking that question, because it's like the softball, right? Listen, we're strong advocates for responsible gambling, and so what that means for us is that gambling should be treated as entertainment for adults, and that's it, right? It should be additive to your experience when you're engaging in a Super Bowl or a baseball game or a golf tournament or a NASCAR race, whatever it is that you choose to engage in with your sports betting. You got to do that responsibly. So we have a program called Have a Game Plan, Bet Responsibly, that really centers around setting a budget, knowing the limits, understanding the odds and the games you're betting on. Things that sound simple, but really, if you're new to this, or even if you're a seasoned bettor, understanding what tools are available to you so that this can maintain kind of its level of fun in addition to the sports experience as possible.
So, is there anything as a sure bet? Because my friend, my
Not
friend
in my
is
experience.
he loves to gamble, and we'll talk. We'll be on DraftKings on a random day with an NBA or an NFL game, and it looks so easy. What can you tell people when it looks that easy?
I'd say there's no such thing as a sure thing. So, look, you have to understand the games you're betting on, right? Understand what the odds mean. Understand, if you're an avid NBA fan and you want to have some action on that game, understand what those odds are and what that means and what that, So there's some things you can do to educate yourself so that it's a more fun experience for you, but there's certainly no such thing as a sure bet.
So where is the AGA based, and how can we find out more about that?
So we're based in Washington, D.C., but obviously a lot of our guys are all over the country. You mentioned our footprint. Casinos are in 44 states now, and sports betting in 36 states plus D.C. So we're all over the place, and if you want to learn more about us, you can go to AmericanGaming.org. If you want to learn more about how to bet responsibly, you can go to HaveAGamePlan.org. So welcome everybody checking those resources out.
Well, we appreciate it. So before we go, if you had one bet you could make on the Super Bowl, whether it be a team, a prop bet, what would you bet right now if we gave you, $100 to put a
Oh man, this is a tough one because I'm not a great sports bettor. But look, Americans are split. They think kind of evenly that the Eagles are going to win or the Chiefs are going to win. I'm going to bet with my heart a little bit. I've got family who are Eagles fans, and despite my wife being a Giants fan, she'd hate that. But so I bet on the Eagles to win.
Well, we definitely appreciate you stopping by, Casey. It was a pleasure speaking with you.
Yeah, great to meet you. Appreciate the time.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
We look forward to you coming on again in the future. But you have a great day.